There's a beautiful line in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 1, verse 14, which we don't hear today, but that has always stayed with me, especially this time of year. After the resurrection and the ascension of Jesus into heaven, when the early Christians had gathered to pray, we are told all these devoted themselves with one accord to prayer, together with Mary, the mother of Jesus. That image of the early church, the newborn church, gathered with Mary at its heart, is exactly what we step into today. The joy of Easter, the glorious power of the resurrection, and the steady, faithful presence of Our Lady, leading us and loving us. And it feels especially fitting on this Sunday as we celebrate our May crowning. We will do so right after the prayers of the faithful. We'll have a nice procession through the center of the church with the crown, and we will crown her with the flowers like we do every year. And we do this as a sign that we entrust not only the month of May to her, but our whole Christian life, everything that we are and have, to her motherly care. Now, Mary's story isn't a side note in the story of Jesus. She's woven all the way through, from the angel's first word at the Annunciation, to the cross, to the upper room at Pentecost, and to today, and the living out of the church. She's the church's first and greatest disciple, and she is always, always pointing us back to her Son. So looking at our gospel today, I can't help but imagine her present in this episode as well. This loving presence hovering around, even though her name isn't mentioned explicitly. In the wake of the resurrection, in the midst of their confusion and their uncertainty, Peter and the other disciples are going back today to what is familiar to them. Fishing. They're fishermen. It's where they feel safe. So they're back on the water doing what they do, what they know, what they can control. Because their world has been turned upside down, not just by Jesus' death, but also by his resurrection. We're told in the gospel today that his appearance to them is only the third time since he was raised from the dead. And the other two times have been somewhat difficult to understand and to come to terms with. And so they're back on the water doing what they know what to do. And we are told that they fish all night long and that they have caught nothing. And then at dawn's first light, there is Jesus, the risen Lord, not immediately recognizable to them, but he's standing on the shore with new life and a new mission that he has ready to give his disciples. This is where I think Mary's example is so powerful for us. This moment between the night and the dawn. She knows what it's like to wait through a dark night. She knows what it's like to stand at the foot of the cross and to hold her dead son in her arms. She knows what it's like to keep vigil when nothing around you makes sense. And because of that, she knows better than anyone how to recognize him when the dawn comes. The resurrection of Jesus is not just a cosmic event of lasting eternal consequence. It is also the great and very personal yes of God to her for her faith, for her hope, and her perseverance. And now, like the most loving of mothers, she teaches us to do the same, so that the resurrection can be given to us personally. She teaches us how to say yes, even through the dark night, to watch, to wait, to trust, and to rejoice. In today's gospel, after the miracle of the fish, which, by the way, according to St. Jerome, is significant because the number of fish that was caught, 153, was the number of known species of fish in Jesus' day. They thought that all the fish in the world were 153. And so the fact that they caught 153 of these fish shows the great inclusive nature of Jesus' message, that this is for all people. And it is so unbreakable that even when you put the entire world, so to speak, in this net, it doesn't break. There's also another significance to this number 153. As you know, every Hebrew letter has a numeric value associated with it. And when you take sons of God and add up the numeric value, you have 153. So it's very clear that these fish are symbolic of the great mission of Peter and the other apostles to go out to the whole world, to leave no one or nothing behind. Nonetheless, they catch the fish, and Peter then finds himself eventually with Jesus in this very tender personal moment. Jesus asks him 3 times, "Do you love me?" Now this echoes the 3 times that Peter denied Jesus, but this time there's no failure. Peter is ready, and there's mercy, there's healing, and there's a call. Jesus asks him to tend my lambs, to feed my sheep, and to follow me, even unto his own death. Now, this moment isn't just about Peter's restoration. We've got to understand this within the context of all those fish. This is about the whole family of God. As I said, those fish represent the sons of God, the children of God, everybody and each person for all time. So this is more of a familial moment here. Peter is being entrusted with care of the family of God, much in the same way that Mary was entrusted with the care of the family of God in her maternal way. She is the mother of the church, and Peter is its visible head. And in this way, Peter's yes in this moment to Jesus mirrors Mary's yes beautifully. When she said, "Let it be done unto me according to your word," Peter says, "Yes, Lord, you know I love you." And both of these yeses unlock a mission that's far bigger than just themselves. This is the pattern that Mary teaches us always. Faith that listens, love that says yes, courage that steps forward even when the way seems uncertain. And so now we hear all of this proclaimed to us, and we have to appropriate it now into our lives. What about us? Well, my friends, we are still in Easter. We are still basking in the joy of the resurrection. But for many of us, we've got to be honest, we are still fishing in the dark at times. We doubt, we struggle, and we're not always sure what Jesus is up to in our lives. We don't always see clearly. But like Peter, and before him, like Mary, we are called to continue showing up, to keep saying yes, and to keep trusting that Jesus is already standing on the shore, waiting to meet us, waiting to feed us. That's why our May crowning, which will take place in just a few minutes, is so much more than a nice tradition. It's a sign that we place everything, our joys, our struggles, our future, under Mary's care. It's a way of saying that we are a part of this family. We are part of those fish that Peter dragged to the shore. We are part of the children of God. So we ask her to lead us today. We ask her to teach us how to listen, to teach us how to love, to teach us how to say yes to whatever Jesus asks of us. And as we crown her today, let's renew our faith. Not a vague faith in good feelings, but a bold Marian faith in the risen Christ. He is the one who meets us in our weakness. He's the one who feeds us with his own body and blood. And he is the one who sends us out with Mary at our side to be his witnesses to the ends of the earth.